Hey everybody, it's Bruno. Here's my new episode of MB. Be my next guest on MB by clicking on the link below and we'll contact you. So listen, enjoy the episode.
That's right. What's up, you sucker? That's right. What's up, you sucker? What you looking at?
Hey, it's Bruno from MB. We're Can't All Be Serious. I'm here with my good friend Jackie Rainforth from Rainmakers. Jackie, are you ready? Because we put this thumbnail out there. Got to back it up, sister.
Deal. Okay. I'm ready.
I'm all about mistakes. So
Yes.
I'd say mistake equal to learning. So let me tell you something. I've learned a lot in my life. So salespeople, 3 top mistakes salespeople make. And before we go on, it's not like you're any person just showing up here. You're an award-winning sales expert. You're a sought-after conference speaker, author, trainer. So it's not like you're just throwing this out because we're having a coffee together. Get after it. 3 mistakes you've seen because you're an expert. Number one.
And I mean, we've all heard these over and over, but it continues to be the biggest mistake. People don't listen. They don't listen. They're busy thinking. They don't listen. Yeah. I know. But they don't. They're thinking about what they're going to say next, or they're, or they've tuned out, they don't listen. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that people make because people are never upfront. Your prospect isn't going to tell you everything. You have to read between the lines. And if you're not listening, you're not going to hear those things, or you're not going to hear the cues that you need to ask better questions, which is number 2. Quality of question. Yeah. Number 2, the quality of the question determines the quality of the answer. Yeah. Big. But people ask surface questions.
We're going to get to 3 in a bit. Okay. I got to go 1, 2, and then 3, or okay. 1.
Yeah, sure. I know. I'm like
number 1. Yeah, you want to get there. I'm just throwing this out. The reason why I'm excited to have you is you said something that was music to my ears. Is selling is part process, a big part process. Huge. So your first thing is that's part of a process, I guess. The first mistake, or an omission of the first step, is mistake number 1. So let's focus on that one. Let's give me some more examples of that.
Well, how many, it happens all the time. This is what typically happens. Person walks in, they either get a meeting with their prospect, or they meet somebody and they do the product dump. It's like blah, 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 blah. They didn't even ask. They weren't watching the signs. They weren't listening. They weren't hearing the prospect when the prospect, might not even have any interest in it.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, and that's why listening and questions are kind of together. If you don't ask the right questions, you can't possibly get the right answers that you need to move forward and to be successful in selling. People do it all the time. I've got a girlfriend. She has 6 Hunter Douglas. Well, actually, she was a client first, and then she's become my dear friend. She owns 6 Hunter Douglas locations. She said,
I need something for my string.
Oh,
I can't believe I just interrupted a sales expert when I'm saying that's the wrong question. I can't get this string
because they do that. They are customer service driven.
Yeah, they are.
Window coverings. They're amazing. But she's in the book. I've actually written about her in the book, and she says, every week I've got a sales rep coming in, and they come into the showroom, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm from such and such, and we do this and we do that and we do this and that. And she goes, they've never even stopped to ask me if I'm interested or if I need that. They've never asked the questions to determine the need. They've never listened. She's sitting there going, trying to stop them. And they just keep barreling through because they're not listening. They're not hearing the cues. And it could even be body language cues. People do things with body language to, indicate, but a lot of times it's just missed. And that's too bad.
Yeah, that's, I like to have fun on these, obviously. And it's true. I'm looking for that string repeller or whatever. But the thing is that, I guess people, before you start saying, this is what I got, this is what I got, you got to say, what do you need? What if the lady has no windows?
Yeah.
Lives in a basement apartment with no windows. I don't think that's legal, but, what are you selling her that stuff for?
Exactly. And it happens all the time. People think that and this is another thing, another mistake that people make, they sell the same to everybody. They've got their standard queue and they sell the same. Well, guess what? We're all made differently for a reason. Life would be boring if we were all the same. You cannot sell the same to everybody. You've got to really listen. You go into a car dealership. I deal with car dealerships all the time. Someone comes in and they're looking at it, they're looking for cars, they're looking for a certain brand. And the guy says, oh, well, let me show you this one. It's got 4 doors and it's got extra legroom and it's this and it's that and it's da-da-da-da-da. Whoa, what if they want, their, midlife crisis and they want a 2-door sports car that goes really, really fast?
Yeah.
It's that model, but they want it in a 2-door, right? If you don't ask the questions, you don't know. And that's a big problem for people. Because they're all kind of related, right? You don't ask the right questions, you're not listening, you're assuming, you're making assumptions for people, and you sell to everybody the same. Wrong, all the way through.
Well, I like to have fun, that. So I always say that you always find an answer to all world problem in an Italian family conversation. And I said this to you before, or a Robert De Niro movie, but analyze this. Have you ever seen that movie? So Robert De Niro is he's a mobster that gets rehabilitated and he's selling cars. And you talk about it's not relevant to, so this little, young couple comes in and he's trying to sell him this car and he goes, well, we need more storage. And he says, look at that trunk. It fits 4 bodies in there, right? It's kind of like what was important to him was not, it was funny you said that. That's exactly what happened. How much
that is exactly what happened. Right. Because we make assumptions for people. Right. My girlfriend's grandmother was driving a little Mustang convertible and she went in, and she's like 80 years old. She goes into the dealership and of course, they're kind of whisking her up. Not really sure. Are you sure that's what you want? Like, because they just assumed that she couldn't handle or she was, maybe she had Alzheimer's. I don't know. But, they were making assumptions for her that weren't true because she really wanted that little Mustang convertible and she rocked it.
So I'm going to ask a really silly question. How do you know? And that's your number 2 thing, right? You ask questions, right?
The quality of the question determines the quality of the answer.
I'm going to tell you, this is a true story, and some of my friends in San Diego watch this. In Rancho Bernardo, there's kind of a retirement area. So we have friends that live there. I'm much, 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 much younger than all of them, but I have friends there. No, but it's a true story that, we know this lady and boy, she's, really nice, but she's, she's a smaller lady, petite, whatever. And she's part of the Corvette Club. And, she buys a Corvette every once in a while to stay in the Corvette Club. And I will guarantee you, if you want to stereotype something, there's no way a car salesman would have ever thought that. And whoever figured it out sells her a Corvette once in a while. So that's a tradition, right? And they come in, 100 miles an hour. And but that goes hand in hand with what you're saying is that what value can your customers expect from you, right? I know that you talk about value all the time. How can you figure out the value if you don't ask the right questions?
You can't. It's like throwing mud on the wall, hoping for a prayer that they're going to buy from you. There's absolutely no control. And here's the other thing. This is what happens to our brain. When we are just throwing mud against the wall, when we do not have a process, we do not have control and the confidence, right? That's why process is so important, because when you know what you're going to say, where you know where you're going, you have control and confidence. When you don't, what happens is the brain switches and goes into fight, flight, or freeze.
Nice.
That's what happens. And that's why they lose the sale, and they don't know what happened. Or they look back and go, I can't believe I didn't say anything. I can't believe I froze, right? It happens all the time. And, just taking the extra time to know that stuff, to be prepared, to be practiced, to have a plan will absolutely serve you so much better.
This is what I'm going to tell you. You walk into a room like you're pretty, confident, this, that, and the other thing. However, right, same as when a salesperson walks into a room and doesn't ask the right questions. Also, that customer, potential prospect, looks at you and already has a mental model, right? Like it or not, by the first things you say or you walk in or on video. What is the one thing about you that most people would be kind of surprised to learn, especially in that initial meeting? Because you don't walk in with a poster saying you're an award-winning sales trainer, or expert, and you got a book,
No.
you've got books, and you got, what's that one thing that they'll find out about you, or be surprised to find out about you?
Well, I think when you read the book, I think you'll realize that I too make mistakes, and I too do dumb things, and I too lack confidence at times. I think confidence can get you, it doesn't matter how successful you are, how good you are, we all have moments where our confidence is lacking, and it's just human nature. I think it's just part of who we are. And the other thing is, I make mistakes. The other day, I sent off I can't believe I did this, but I did this, right? Because they're out of town, quite, 3 or 4 hours away. So I sent the proposal. Bad, Jackie. No, and I know better. I should have phoned first, set up a time to go through it, then send it, and then go through it step by step, so that if they do have objections, you can go through the value. So we all mess up. That's why it's so important to have that process and to go back, because we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But what it does is it allows us to kind of back up, review, reevaluate, and do better next time. And, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So
that's great. So thought you let me get you off the hook. Number three.
I think number 3 is people don't focus on what's in it for the customer.
Okay, give me an example. I don't mean like what's in it, but give me an example of somebody. Let's go through the mistake they make in maybe a script or something that.
Oh, well, they go through and they talk about, again, they haven't asked the right questions. And so they talk about features and benefits that really don't matter. So let's take a house, for example, a salesperson selling a home. And client walks in, family, young kids, and they say, well, we need a 4th bedroom. Oh, we've got 10 different models of 4th bedroom. We've got this one and that one and da. And they keep talking and they keep showing, and yeah, sure, they're all 4th bedrooms, but they don't ask the questions. And then, if you delve a little deeper, and that's what I'm all about, delve deeper, sell better, achieve faster results. If you delve a little deeper, you say, well, is there a reason, what are you going to use this 4th bedroom for? And then they start telling you, oh, it's for my mom. Oh, well, is there anything in particular about this bedroom that you need for your mom? Well, yeah, we'd like it to be on the main floor. We'd like it to, have a big window, its own bathroom. Oh, okay, right? Now the salesman is focused on what's in it for them. Where's the value for the client, instead of just, I'm going to sell you a 4th bedroom house, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, because I like to joke around. Yeah, I've said that 10 times. I've done so many serious things that this is kind of joke. You hit it right on. I did a prank call with my son. My next door neighbor's son-in-law, who's a realtor, who had just started and had an open house on our street. And I'll send you the footage. I'm not going to put it online or anything, even though he said it was. And the fellow said that it was a real good selling training tip, because I disguised my voice and I said, do you have this house? And I'm not going to do the accent that I was using, but do you have this house and how many bedrooms? And he goes, 4 bedrooms or something. And I said, that's good. That's 6 per bedroom. So that's 20. We're 18, right? And he's like, I guess so. And I go, we got any storage in the back? Because I have a few pets. He goes, oh yeah, we have, this, that, and the other thing. So because I got 2 goats and I got a chicken. And right away, he just kind of said, yeah, I don't know about the chicken. What do you give a shit about it? That's chicken. Sell him the house. He needs 14 bedrooms. He needs a place for his chicken. Who are you? And he said, you know what? I'll send it to you. But that's 100% true. How do you know I need 4 bedrooms? And how do you need?
Well, yeah. And one of the mistakes that I've made in my life, my husband's family comes from the farm, and one of his cousin's wives, they were building a new house. And I worked at Kohler at the time, the luxury plumbing. And she said, I was helping her pick out all the fixtures that she needed for her home. And we were going through it. And, they're young. They're like, early 20s, 3 kids. Now, I made the assumption that they didn't have a lot of money, but I knew they didn't have a lot of money. I knew that. Here's the thing. So we go to the kitchen faucet and she goes, I want that one. And I said, you want that one? And she goes, yeah, that one. I said, well, that, I don't know. I think you might, this one might be a better choice for you. And she goes, no, I want that one. I said, well, it's really expensive. She goes, I've had my eye on that faucet my entire life. She said, I promised myself that when I build a house, I'm in the kitchen, I'm with my kids. That is the kitchen faucet that I want. And again, wow. I made an assumption and I wasn't listening. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Who's to say that, like, I'm not even gonna make a joke about it, but like, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
You probably saved up her whole life or has access to the money. So that's great. Quick summary. Number one was listen, questions, and what's in it for them. Make sure you're asking. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something that you are the sales expert. You have a great website. Click below, leave a comment or something, and we're gonna draw for one of your books. I'm gonna draw by the books and stuff like that. And so that's basically at the 3 top mistakes that salespeople make. I'm sure there are other ones, but I think that's probably a good start to that process, isn't it?
It is, because everything goes downhill from there if you're not doing it right.
Well, you know what? That's pretty much all the time we have for this episode today. Thank you for tuning in with us. And you know what? Make sure you subscribe to our MegaPixx media channel so you will never miss an episode. And also, you can follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram. We have content almost every day. So thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you guys soon.